In this video, I'll show you how to use the console object within your browser's developer tools to troubleshoot any of the scripting which you used within your application. Now, I'm in Microsoft Edge browser. Now, if I click on three dots over here and if I go to more tools and if I go to developer tools, or alternatively, I select Control Shift I, then a side panel opens up which will give you some more information about what is being currently shown within your browser. So we have an element screen, we have a console screen, so we have a whole bunch of things happening over here. This is a very busy screen. Let me just go into the console section over here. Now this is a console area through which we can use to troubleshoot our JavaScript or any other scripting component which we use within our application. Now, to start with, like, let me show you one JavaScript code. So let's assume this is a simple JavaScript code which we are going to run against an application. In my case, this is a Power Apps. Okay. Now, if you want to see if the execution is happening one after the another, then you usually use something called as console.log. So you put console.log and then you'll say, okay, the execution has reached here. Okay, so you'll put some message over here, and then within the code, like once you run this application, you will see reached here within your developer tool console section, right? So this is the way through which you put it in the code. Now I'm not going to show any specific JavaScript and deploy, but I will just show you how to use this console area. Now first thing, like here there is a section called as info only. Now you have an option to select default, verbose, info, warning, errors. So what if I select everything? So if I select verbose, if I select warnings, and if I select errors, see what happens. Now here I have an option to clear the console, so I'll just clear the console and then I will reload the page. The moment I reload the page, you will see whole bunch of information being shown. Either it's a warning, it's an error, or it's some information. Now we don't want all this thing to be shown as of now, so for time being we will just remove all the things over here. Okay, and we will just clear it off. Okay, now the first code which I'm going to write is here. I will just type in console.log hello. Now as you see over here, I didn't get any output. Right now, why I didn't get any output? Because we have hidden everything. Now if I just say info over here, okay, if I just select info and then again I type the same thing, so console.log hello, I can see the output being shown on the screen. Why? Because I have enabled the info section over here. Now if I select warnings as well, you know and if I select errors as well, then I will be able to see the warnings or the error accordingly. So let me clear this console now. Now here, instead of we always write console.log, now we can also write console.warn, so that will show you the warning. Okay, so let me say console.warn, this is warning. So if you put that in your code, and if you want to warn something, yes, you can do that, just by using console.warn. So instead of completely relying on console.log to show the text message, you can show this in a different format like console.warn. That's one of the thing. Now we have something called as console.error. So sorry, let me clear this off. Console.error. So I just tap this off and I'll say this is fatal, and you get this in the error format. So you see the nice formatting which the Edge browser has provided. Now we have another information which we can show on the screen. So instead of console.log, there is something called as console.info. So this is info. So you can use this as well while troubleshooting your code, and it will display the simple text just like console.log. But make sure that you select the proper items over here. If you are confused, just select default, or maybe select everything at once so that your output is displayed on the developer tool console area. Now that's about console.log. console.1, console.error, console.info. Now, apart from that, you can also do some mathematical operation over here. So if I just type in 45 plus 34, it will give you the output 79. If I do some complex operation like 34 minus 65 multiply by 4 divided by 12, it will give me the answer. Okay, so if you want to do a basic mathematical operation, you can go ahead and do that as well. Now, if you want to see the exponential value, so if I just say 1 exponential 4, it will give me the output as 10,000. If I put 1 exponential 2, it will give me the value as 100. So it recognizes the exponential component as well. Now you can also do some sort of a filtering operation. So take for example, if I have this grid, say yeah, if I have this table 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma 8 comma 9. Okay, so if this is the array which I have, and I will just say I want to filter, so I can use the dot operator and I'll specify filter, and I will say I'll make use of x variable with a arrow operator and say x modulus 2. So it will give me all the odd numbers. So whatever number you put, it will give me the odd numbers over here. And this is also one of the operation which you can perform. Now other things what you can perform within the console area is say document dot body, and then here you will be able to see all the properties related to document.body, and then there is like a whole bunch of list over here which you can operate on. I'm not going to do the into the depth, but this is the possibility. Also, against the document object, you have something called as a query selector. Now within your html, if you have if you want to select a specific tag, say take for example in this case I want to select say h1 tag. Okay, so if you have any h1 component, I will say dot, and I get inner HTML. So I can even select this as well, you know. So I can perform this operation and then it will uh, show you the result. Other thing which you can do, you can even write a jQuery. So if I just copy the code from my notepad. So as you see over here, I've written this jQuery. Now let me just select as $1 over here, and here it will start looking into all the hyperlinks as you see over here. Start looking into all the hyperlinks, and it has made it solid lime color. Now if I just paste it again, and if I say red color, okay, and if I press enter, see what happens. So I've selected all the hyperlinks, put a styling border around it, and made it 1 pixel solid red. Okay, so these all things you can perform within the console section. Now okay, let's do one thing. Now I have I'm just say making up a in an object. Okay, so let me make an object over here. So let me pick up, so let's assume we have this account. Okay, so I have this account, const account equal to name Tesla, CEO Elon Musk, founded 2003. Now if I type in console.log, and if I just type in the object which we have created, so it is account, it will give me in this fashion. So name Tesla, CEO Elon Musk, founded 2003. Now what if I have say 50 columns over here, 50 items? Now it will show in the horizontal fashion, right, like one after the another. Now instead of console.log, there is another object, or another property rather, which you can use. It's called as console.table. So if I type in console.table account, it will show in a tabular format, and this is nicely formatted, and this will help you in the troubleshooting purpose. Okay, now I'll give you another example. Now let me make a big array. Okay, so let me make use of big array. So this, let's read this. So I have name Tesla, CEO Elon Musk, founded 2003. This is one item. Then we have another item named Microsoft, another item named Adobe. Okay, and this is in the form of an array. Okay, now if you want to see the output, and if you say console.log account, it will show you in this format. So you need to expand it, and then it will show you zeroth item is Tesla, one item is Microsoft, second item is Adobe. Now, if you want to show this in a more user friendly way, I told you that you need to use console.table, and within the table you can render this information. Okay. Now, these all information is useful when you are troubleshooting. Now, as you see over here, it has given in a nice format: index, name, CEO, and founded. So, whatever columns so it will display all the columns of your object. Okay, so it has three array, as you see over here, three array, but then it is showing in a nice format. Now, the benefit of this formatting is if you click on index, you can sort by ascending and descending. Same you can do with the name column, same you can do with the other columns, so numerical column. So if you want to sort a big list, now currently I have just three items, but in your when you troubleshoot some objects, you may have say 50 objects. So at that time, this tabular structure and the sorting aspect come into picture to drill down to the exact issue. Okay, so this is how you can use this. Now again, we have just typed in console.table. Now in the example, it has shown all the column. Right now we have an option to select selective column. So I've just select the table, and I'll say, instead of showing everything, I just want to show you, name. Okay, so that is one column, and then I want to show the founded column. So that's the only thing I want you to show. Don't show everything. So yes, it has stripped out the CEO column and has given me the selected table output. Now, as you see, this is a Power Apps model driven app. In Power Apps model driven app, we can perform various operations like retrieving multiple records. So in airlines, if you see airlines over here, it's a list of airlines you can see across the world. Now, if I call the web API, okay, this is a simple syntax. Now I just paste, let me close this. Yeah. So the syntax for the web API is, let me clear this off. Let me press enter, clear this. Yeah. For the syntax, which I'm going to write is xrm dot web API dot retrieve multiple records. So if I want to retrieve multiple records using say web API, okay, now the syntax is you retrieve multiple web records, but you need to specify the table name. Now the table name which I'm going to use is, it's an airlines table. Now I need to use the logical name of the airline table, which I'm aware of what the name is. But if you don't know, yeah, you can just go into the backend dataverse and get this sorted. Okay, this is a table name. Then you need to specify the O data query syntax. So question mark, and then you select the name of the column. So in my case, I'll say I'll select the prefix of say name column, and then I have something called as total aircrafts. Okay, so total aircrafts, and I have total staff. So see, it depends on your table. Now my table has, the table name is airlines, and I'm selecting name, total aircraft, and total staff column. And I will say I just want to see the top, say 20 records. So I'll say top equal to 20, and then I'll close this. Okay, so this is my whole syntax, and then I'll say dot, then whatever result you get, put it in a result, and then I'll use an arrow operator. And after this arrow operator, I will say, okay, uh, console dot table, console.table, and whatever we get, we'll just say get it in a result dot entities. Okay, and I can specify the what column names I want, but maybe I will not specify it and see what happens. Close the curly brace, close the, and let's see if the syntax is correct. Okay, and yes, it has given me whole bunch of table over here. Now as you see, the web API will retrieve all the records. It will give me the first 20 record. Now I only have 15 records, and that's why it is giving me only 15 record, but it has given me whole bunch of columns. So if you see gcop underscore name, gcop underscore the total aircraft, total staff, so it will give me all this information. Now this is useful when you're troubleshooting. Now if you want to sort by the total aircraft or total staff, you can just do sorting over here, and you can see that there are some values which are null, which may be creating problem within your script. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use the console in the developer tool to troubleshoot. You can make use of console.log, console.want, console.info, and then also you can use the console.error. Then you can perform mathematical operations. You can iterate through the object, the document.body, document.query selector, and also you can use uh, the jQuery to perform some operation on your actual HTML or any other text. And lastly, I've shown you a simple example of model driven app, how you run a web API request directly within the browser rather than putting out in the script. You can directly do that in the browser, and then you can format it nicely using the console.table. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching.